my lecture 2 under thermal properties of matter. So under thermal properties of matter, the last class we have learnt the syllabus which is there in the thermal properties of matter, and also have given some introduction regarding those syllabus based on the concepts. At the same time, I have given some importance about this chapter regarding the distribution of marks in the your board exam, maybe test or anywhere regarding the question paper pattern, right? Have given this in the last class. Also we have started in the last class the concept of heat, and we have just learned what is heat. Heat is a form of energy. Also we have learned it always energy is transported from one end to the other end. So how heat flows from one end to the other end we have learnt. At the same time we have learnt some units of heat. In that the practical unit, think but the CGS unit, we also call it as the CGS unit, also called as a practical unit. Practically we use it, and that unit was calorie. And also we have learnt the conversion from one unit to another by the one called as the unit of heat in SI system is joules, right? Where we have learnt the conversion from calories to joules, where we have learnt 1 calorie is equal to 4.186 joules. Also we have learnt 1 calorie is equal to approximately 4.2 joules. This we have learnt in the last class. Okay. At the same time, remember, you have to also can learn the definition of calorie, where calorie is a practical unit of heat, I said, where it can be defined as heat flows from one end to the other end, where you can also say it is defined as the energy required to raise the temperature of the 1 gram of water through 1 degree centigrade. Please observe, today we are learning the definition of calorie. This is the one definition. So what is this definition of calorie explains? It is the one calorie defined as the heat energy, where you can say heat energy required to raise 1 gram of water through 1 degree centigrade, where you can say the temperature ranges between the 14.5 degree centigrade to 15.5 degree centigrade. This is the one concept you can remember. 1 gram of water which is raised to 1 degree centigrade. So let me just write this calorie can be defined as the heat energy, that is nothing but the heat energy which is required to raise, the heat required to raise 1 gram of water through 1 degree centigrade. What is this degree centigrade? That is what you can observe nearly 14.5 degree centigrade to 15.5 degree centigrade. This is the range they have observed how heat will be rising from 1 gram of water through 1 degree centigrade. This is how the definition you remember. And in this chapter, occasionally they will ask define calorie. You know the calorie is a practical unit of heat, but they will ask define the practical unit of heat, they will ask. It is understood the practical unit of heat is calorie, and that you have to define. You should not write only calorie, the practical unit. You have to define that calorie. That calorie can be defined as heat required to raise the 1 gram of water through 1 degree centigrade. And that range is from 14.5 degrees centigrade to 15.5 degrees centigrade. This point you just remember. Okay, we have learned the 1 unit of calorie. And remember the higher units, whenever we want to express the higher units, we express them in kilocalories, where you can observe 1 kilocalorie. That is nothing but, that is 1 kilocalorie means it is nothing but 1000 calories. So when you want to say higher, that is units in calories, we use this condition. 1 kilo means 1000 calories. This conversion, you remember, in the last class we have learnt, that is conversion from one unit to another by, that is nothing but CGS to SI. We have learnt the SI unit of heat is joule, and also we have learnt the conversion from 1 calorie to joules means 1 calorie equal to 4.186 joules. Approximately when you do the problems, you can use 1 calorie equal to 4.2 joules. Approximately it is 4.2 joules. This condition we have learned in the last class. I think we have stopped up to here. To explain this also we have learned one more concept in the last class, where joules mechanical equivalent of heat. There we have learned one concept where according to joule, work done is directly proportional to the amount of heat produced, where W is proportional to Q, and also we have learned the relation W by Q is equal to constant, and that constant was represented by J, where it is called as joules mechanical equivalent of heat. Where we have written this concept, that is W is proportional to Q. This condition, after writing this we have shown W is equal to J into Q, where joule is called as the joules, J is called as joules mechanical equivalent of heat. Up to here we have learned in the last class, right? Now, today let us go for the new concept like temperature. But remember, in the last class we have learned heat, but today we are learning temperature. Heat and temperature are different. They are not the same. They are not the same. They are different. Temperature is a physical quantity. You can measure the temperature. So, that measurement of temperature can be learned after this. But let me tell you what is temperature. So, today let us learn the new concept called temperature. First, let me tell you temperature. What is temperature? Temperature is the degree of hotness or coldness. The degree of hotness or coldness of a body. So, the degree of hotness or coldness of a body can be said to be called as a temperature. For this, let me tell you, you may feel sometimes heat and temperature, what is it? I just give one example today. For this you can observe. Let me take one container. That is, let me take one water container. This is a container we have. In this, let me tell you, I am just filling water. I am filling water in this. Just observe, I have taken in the water tank. In that I am filling, that is water. What happens? Here remember, I want to explain here what is heat and temperature in this. So here I am putting water in this. As and when I am filling the water, the level rises. You know, the level rises. So at the same time, remember, I am just heating this water. Means I am placing this container on the gas stove. So as and when I place the one container on the gas stove and if I start heating, what happens here? When you start heating, naturally here, if you touch here, you feel somewhat different. Again, if you touch here, it is different. Here. So after some time when you touch here, the one temperature changes. So here, what is this called as? After filling water, this we have shown the level of water. So as the level of water changes and as you are observing the touching at different positions, you feel different. And what does it explain? This explains the degree of hotness. This explains degree of hotness. Please observe. So when I say degree of hotness means nothing but this is called temperature. So please observe. I am just taken the one container. In that container I am filling water here. So when I fill water, the level of the water rises, and when you observe, when you just heat that container, when you heat the container, placing it on a gas stove, nothing but when you just apply heat, naturally after some time you feel slightly hot. So different positions if you touch and see that variation of temperature changes, so that explains degree of hotness. So this degree of hotness can be explained as temperature. Remember, by just you are sensing this, by touching this you can observe, but that is not an exact way to say in physics. So for this we say temperature is a degree of hotness where it is a physical quantity, because you can measure it and also you can express it. You can explain to others if they can understand what is it. So remember, temperature is a physical quantity. So I can say the first point, temperature is a physical quantity. Is a physical quantity. You can measure this temperature. So I can say it is a physical quantity. Okay. One more point I want to say. This temperature, where it will, when you want to explain this temperature, always heat flows from one body to another body. We say temperature changes from one body to another. So naturally say there is a temperature is a scalar quantity, where temperature is said to be, it is said to be called as the one. Second point, it is a scalar quantity. It is a scalar quantity. This point you just remember. Is temperature a scalar vector means temperature is the scalar quantity. And remember, to explain this temperature, what we are doing, we are supplying some heat. So when you supply some heat, what happens? The molecules in the container will just start moving. They will be moving, the motion of the molecules takes place, due to which the kinetic energy of the molecules increases. As the kinetic energy of the molecules increases, the temperature rises. So you can say this temperature is directly proportional to the kinetic energy of the gas molecules. So the kinetic energy of the one molecules you can explain. So kinetic energy of the given body increases, therefore temperature is directly proportional to the kinetic energy of the body, where you can say temperature. It is, that is, temperature is directly proportional. Temperature is directly proportional to the kinetic energy, of the body. Kinetic energy of the body. So when you observe these molecules, whenever these water molecules are there here, when you are just heating it, what happens? These molecules move in random motion. Naturally, the kinetic energy of the one water molecules increases. So naturally, you can say as the kinetic energy of the molecules increases, the temperature also increases. So you can say temperature is directly proportional to the kinetic energy of the body. You can say kinetic energy of the body. Kinetic energy of the body, you can say. So you can say the average kinetic of the one molecules will increase, due to which you can say due to the average kinetic energy of the molecules increases, temperature increases. So you can say the one how you interpret the kinetic energy of the molecules means as you heat it, naturally that will rise. Okay, right. This is how you can observe. Although remember, you can heat the temperature rises. What? As you heat it, you can heat for a maximum position. That is nothing but you can heat for certain temperature. You can raise the temperature. But you cannot cool the temperature. There is some limit that you will learn in the next coming days class. But today you just remember, you can increase the temperature to certain limits. At the same time, you can also cool the temperature to it cannot be cooled to some lower limits. So there is some level at that position only it will cool. After some time it will not that will show any changes that can be observed in the next coming days class. So please observe. So temperature you can observe in this, where you can also say temperature of the body can be raised without any limit. Without any limit you can increase. But there is a limit to cool it. That you will learn in the next class. Okay? Right. Now next one more point I want to say here in this case, where in the last class we have learned heat and today we are learning temperature. And this temperature, there is to measure the one body, nothing but to measure the body, we have the one instrument called as thermometer. So please observe to measure this. Because of this only I say temperature is a physical quantity. It is a physical quantity which can be measured and can be expressed, that can be understood by others. So therefore we say it is a physical quantity. To measure this temperature we have an instrument called thermometer. So let me tell you, thermometer. Thermometer means, where you can remember, this thermo is a Latin word. Latin word which means heat. Thermo means it is a Latin word which has come from Latin word which means heat. Meter, it is a measuring device. It is a measuring device. So where it means, that is measuring device. So you can say today where thermometer is an instrument which is used to measure the temperature of a body. It is an instrument used to measure the temperature of a body, right? This thermometer. But to explain this thermometer, we have what is called as the thermometry, where we call it as, what is a thermometry? Thermometry, it is a device where you can also say, which is a principle where you can observe. This is a branch of physics which deals with the measurement of the temperature, which is called thermometry. So you can say this thermometry is one branch, you can say thermometry. It is one of the branch where that branch of physics which deals with the temperature is called thermometer. And in that we learn thermometer, where thermometer, which is nothing but one learned word which has come from Latin, which means heat. Okay? Meter means it is a measuring device. So you can say a device which is used to measure temperature is called thermometer. Right? But remember, to explain this thermometer, we have one principle. What is that principle of thermometry? That principle, just remember, this principle of thermometry. Principle of thermometry. To explain these thermometers, there are two types of thermometers. One is mercury thermometer, mercury filled thermometer, another is alcohol filled thermometer. Means, what do you mean by to say this filled thermometer means, we have some glass container. In that glass container which is of rod shape, in that we fill the liquids like mercury or alcohol. So we call it as mercury. If it is filled with mercury, it is called mercury thermometer. If it is filled with alcohol, we call it as alcohol thermometer. Right? So here we are filling the one liquid solution. So the liquid which is filled in the container, where you can observe the volume of the liquid will be always varies with the temperature. It changes with the temperature. So as and when you heat, volume of the liquid, that is, it goes on expanding. Nothing but it expands. As and when volume of the liquid changes, naturally temperature also changes. So as the temperature changes, volume liquid varies with temperature, we say, how does it varies? It varies linearly. What do you mean by linearly? It is directly proportional. As the temperature increases, volume of the liquid expands. As the temperature decreases, volume of the liquid contracts. Depending on this, we explain how the thermometer shows the changes in the temperature. Right? So you can say here, what is the principle of thermometer means? We can say it is a thermometer which is used a measurable property and in which always volume of the liquid changes with temperature. So volume of the liquid varies with temperature. Liquid varies with temperature. So how does it varies? It varies linearly. I can say linearly means directly proportional. As temperature increases, volume of the liquid increases. As the temperature decreases, volume of the liquid decreases. This is how you can observe the principle of thermometry. So this thermometer uses this principle, that is volume of the liquid varies with temperature. For this I can give one example. By chance if you heat the liquid, nothing but the one liquid is heated, naturally what happens? It will expand. As and when it is expansion takes place, naturally the temperature rises. When you just cool the one liquid, when you cool it, what happens? The temperature decreases. Therefore, nothing but when you cool the liquid, naturally volume, that is, it contracts, due to which the level shows less. Nothing but lower the temperature will be shown, and therefore you can say the different types of temperatures can be observed by heating or by cooling. Okay, this is how the explanation of the one principle of thermometer. Right? To explain this, I just want to say one very important concept here. To explain this, we have today one scales. So throughout the world, wherever you go, the scales should explain the same concept, that should remain same. So today let us learn the one called as thermometric scales. Right? We will explain this thermometer. I use the scale, and that is one we can learn now. Thermometric scales. So what does the scale explains? Throughout the world, wherever you go, that should remain same. So to explain this, they have learned fixed 2 points. One is called as the lower fixed point, another is called as the upper fixed point. So what are these 2 scale points, and how do you explain this? For this very simple example I can give. If you have seen the ice, that ice when you touch it you feel cold. So even in India, if you touch the ice, it should remain same. If you go to other countries also, it should remain same. Maybe in other state, the foreign countries also, it should remain same. Means that ice will show the same temperature throughout the world. So there you can say the one ice, where you can say called as the freezing ice. That is nothing but ice. Let me take first point. That ice that should remain same throughout, and they have taken this ice is said to be called as the one lower fixed point. So what is it? Lower fixed point. This ice point is taken as the lower fixed point. So you can observe this is the one ice. Wherever you go, that should remain same, the temperature remains same. Therefore, that is one of the standard point in the scale, where that is the first point, where you can say one fixed point, you can say this is the first fixed point you can say, which is ice, where it is the one, it is called as lower fixed point, and that is nothing but the pure water whenever it freezes, and that is called as, you call it as pure water freezes. Pure water whenever it freezes, and that point is taken as ice point, and that ice point is taken as the lower fixed point. Okay, one more another point that should also remain same. So they have taken one condition. Whenever they want to boil water, that temperature should remain same throughout the world. For this, the one at some positions the level will rise. Sometimes the level will be higher or maybe lower. So that to explain this, they have taken a standard point, that is sea level. So when you boil the water at sea level, naturally the temperature remains same throughout, and throughout the world wherever you observe, the sea level remains same. So that sea level remains same. So at that point they have boiled the water, and the boiling of water at that point, whatever the temperature has shown, that remains same throughout the world. So they have taken another fixed point. So you can say the second fixed point. What is the second fixed point in this is nothing but they have taken boiling water. Boiling water. Boiling water means that is pure water whenever it boils. So at that point they have taken that is taken as upper fixed point. Upper fixed point. Nothing but the boiling water, nothing but steam level you can say. Steam point also you can say for this boiling water, or maybe the one called as steam point you can also say. This is ice point and this is steam point. Right? Steam point is also called as the water boils. The pure water boils and that temperature remains same throughout. For this purpose, they have taken the reference point as sea level. At sea level, when you boil the water, whatever the temperature you have, that remains same throughout the world. So they have taken this point. So we have done two fixed points. One is the one called as ice point, another is called as boiling water, also called as steam point. This ice point is taken as the lower fixed point, and the one boiling water is taken as the upper fixed point. So in any of the scales, thermometric scales, there are two fixed points. One is lower fixed point, another is upper fixed point. Okay. To explain this, many scientists have worked for these and they have designed the scales, and for this we come across today two scales by name. One is by the name called as Anders Celsius. He has designed one scale, and for that scale we call it as Celsius scale. So please observe, a scientist by name Anders Celsius. Anders Celsius. So for this scale we call it as Celsius scale. So Celsius scale, a scientist by name Anders Celsius, he has designed this in the early 1710, and he has designed this scale where by taking water in that one glass container. So that glass container which is of rod shape, and where he has observed, he has taken the point in that reference point where he has observed the one freezing point of the scale, where freezing point is taken as freezing point, nothing but ice point I can say. This is called ice point, or also called as, this is nothing but, this is 0 degrees centigrade. Also we call it as, for this is lower fixed point. Lower fixed point, that is lower fixed point, also called it is freezing point, maybe that is called as ice point. He has taken that reference point as 0 degree. And at the same time he has boiled that water and he has observed the temperature which is raised to nothing but called as boiling water. He has taken boiling point, he has taken, and that point is taken as, that is upper fixed point. Upper fixed point means that is nothing but water boils, pure water boils. That position pure water boils. So that is taken as 100 degrees centigrade. And he has taken, this is the one scale you have. In this, he has taken, this is 0 degrees centigrade, here it is 100 degrees centigrade. In between, it is equally divided into 100 equal parts. has observed, he has explained that in between there are 100 equal parts. Each division is equal to, where he has taken as each division equal to 1 degree centigrade. Each division is 1 degree centigrade because starting point was 0 degree and ending point was 100 degree centigrade, and in between it is equally divided to 100 equal parts. So each degree is said to be called as 1 degree centigrade. So depending on that he has given that scale, right? So each degree equal to 1 degree centigrade. After him, one more scientist by name Gabriel Fahrenheit, where you can say he has designed one scale by using some alcohol in the one container. Nothing but that he has taken that thermometer and that he has explained the scale, and his name was given to that scale, and that name was Fahrenheit scale. Okay, let me show you what is it. According to him, Fahrenheit scale. Fahrenheit scale, where Gabriel Fahrenheit, his name is called as Gabriel Fahrenheit. And he has designed this in the early 1770. After him, Celsius scale, he has designed the scale. So he has again taken the one lower fixed point in his scale, where he has taken the freezing point at that one. He has observed the freezing point in that. That is lower fixed point, where it is called ice point, you can say. And that point he has been taken as 32 degree Fahrenheit. And one more he has taken, he boiled that liquid, and after boiling he has observed the upper fixed point, where it was, that is nothing but called boiling point, or you can say steam point. It is also called steam point, you can say. At that point he has referred it is 212 degree Fahrenheit. He has observed it is 212 degree Fahrenheit. So according to him, where he has observed, this is where according to him, he has observed where it is ice point. This is ice point, where it was 0 degree Fahrenheit. Sorry, in his ice point it is taken as 32 degree Fahrenheit, and he has observed this is the one boiling point. Where it was 212 degree Fahrenheit. He has observed 212 degree Fahrenheit. But in between it was divided into 180 equal parts. 180 equal parts. He has observed here 180 equal parts. But here it is, in this scale, it was 100 equal parts. Equal parts. This is Celsius scale. This is Fahrenheit scale. Right? 180 equal parts. There he has observed. So, you observe here, this is the one ice point in his scale was 32 degree Fahrenheit, and this was 212 degree Fahrenheit. In between it was built to 180 equal parts. And you can observe here, by observing this, you may feel that here both the scales are showing ice point and also the one boiling point, and also the upper fixed point, lower fixed point, and division how it was divided. So if you take any of the liquid, first if you may use this one scale, that is Celsius scale, you get some temperature. After some time, if you use this another scale and if you observe the temperature, that also shows some temperature. So by you looking to these two scales, in which scale which is more, whether Celsius scale is more or maybe the Gabriel Fahrenheit scale is more, that you can observe here. So please observe, there ice point is there, boiling point is there, ice point, boiling point, but here it is 0 degree, then 100 degree centigrade. In between it was equal divided into 100 equal parts. Here it is starting 32 degree Fahrenheit, here it is 212 equally divided into 180 equal parts. So by looking to this, you can observe among these two scales which is greater means you can observe Celsius scale, I think the degree Celsius scale is greater than degree Fahrenheit. You can say degree Celsius scale is greater than degree Fahrenheit. Please observe, because here it is 180 equal parts are there, here 100 equal parts. So naturally this degree Celsius scale is greater than degree Fahrenheit scale. By just looking to this you can explain the things. Okay. Now you have understood two scales according to two scientists' name. By name Celsius scale, another is Gabriel Fahrenheit scale, so which is called as Fahrenheit scale. One more scale we have as per your syllabus, that is Kelvin scale. Let me explain this in the next class by explaining absolute scale. After explaining absolute scale we will learn that, right? At present just observe, we have learned only two scales. Now let me give one important formula for you, because you expect 1 mark questions here. Maybe the problem section, maybe in one of the theory section they may give, maybe in the any of the objective type questions they may give conversion from one scale to another scale. For this I give one standard formula. Whichever the scale is given, you need not worry. Whatever may be the readings, you can convert from one scale to another scale by using this standard formula. Okay, hope you will understand what is it. I just give one standard formula for this. Remember that formula. That will helpful for you for solving any of the problems, conversion from one scale to another scale. Okay, let me tell you how it is. Conversion of one scale to another scale. Conversion of one scale to another scale. Here for your reference I take two scales. One is Celsius scale, another is Fahrenheit scale. I will show you the one formula for this. This will extend in the next class regarding Kelvin scale. At present I show two scales. Also I give formula for them, conversion from Celsius to one Fahrenheit scale or from Fahrenheit to Celsius scale. Okay, right. Please observe here. Conversion from one scale to another scale, for this we have a reference point, that is temperature. Temperature on one scale, whichever the scale you can take, you need not worry. So for your reference standard formula I give temperature on one scale minus lower fixed point. Lower fixed point. Right? Whole divided by upper fixed point. Upper fixed point minus lower fixed point. Lower fixed point. So please observe. Have given, this is the standard formula for any scale, you can use it. You need not worry only for the scale alone. Here temperature on one scale, whichever scale you decide. So let me say one scale, let me first write for Celsius scale. So temperature on Celsius scale. So let me write TC. Temperature on Celsius scale minus, what is the lower fixed on Celsius scale? It was 0 degree. So 0 degree centigrade. The whole divided by, what is the upper fixed point in the Celsius scale? It was given as 100 degree centigrade. What is the lower fixed point? Again it is 0 degree centigrade. Hope you understand what I say. Now just observe. I have taken only one Celsius scale. Using that I have given this. So we have that this is temperature on Celsius scale minus the one lower fixed point on Celsius scale, upper fixed point on Celsius scale minus lower fixed point on Celsius scale. Now let me write one more scale by name Fahrenheit scale. Then this for a reference I write temperature on the Fahrenheit scale is TF. I may write only F, but for a reference I write T subscript F minus what is the lower fixed point, which is 32 degree Fahrenheit, divided by upper fixed point in that is 212 degree Fahrenheit minus lower fixed point which is 32 degree Fahrenheit. Hope you understand what I say. It's very simple. Only remembering this formula you are ready to write this. Okay. Now here temperature on the Celsius scale Tc minus 0 means nothing but it is temperature on Celsius scale is T subscript C. 100 minus 0 means it is 100, which is equal to Tf temperature on Fahrenheit scale minus 32 degree divided by 212 degree minus 32 degree means it is nothing but 180 degree Fahrenheit. So this degree Fahrenheit cancels. So you are ready to write where it is T subscript C by 100 is equal to Tf minus 32 by 180 by 180. Right? This is how we have written now. Okay. Now what do you want to say in this case? Let me show you one step how to write the expression for the Celsius scale. So for this I can write T subscript C is equal to this 100 divided by 180. I take this 180 this side and I write Tf minus 32 like this. Nothing that way, I am just cross multiplying. When you cross multiply you get this. So what is this? 25 are 100, 29 are, that is 180. Let me write Tc is equal to, this is 5 by 9 Tf minus 32. So you have to put this bracket like this, otherwise you will go wrong. First it is 5 by 9 Tf minus 32. So 5 by 9 times of Tf. T whatever the Tf you have minus 32 multiplied by this you get this value. This is the one formula you come across for the one called as the conversion from Celsius to Fahrenheit scale. Now if you want to write for Fahrenheit scale, so let me write or. For Fahrenheit scale I want to write it is, what do you want to write? I will keep this Tf as it is here. I take this is 9 Tc. 9 Tc is equal to 5 Tf. This is 5 Tf. This minus 32 will come again this side, it will become here 32, therefore this 32 will come this side when you cross multiply. So you are ready to write here, this can be written as or, this directly you can write it as where Tf is equal to, it is, that is nothing but 9 by 5 T subscript C plus 32. This is how you write for the one called as the Fahrenheit scale. Let me cross multiplying after this, we got this. This is for Tf. Hope you understand what I say. Here 9 by Tc plus 32. Whatever you get Tc temperature on Celsius scale plus 32 you get it. That is what Fahrenheit degree. So now you understood conversion of one scale to another scale. At the same time, now you have learned two formulas. These are the simple formulas. We expect 1 mark problems here. Compulsory they give the values for Fahrenheit to convert to Celsius scale, or sometimes they give Celsius to Fahrenheit. This is how you can convert from one scale to another scale. Okay. Now I just want to say one more very important point. Here today we have learned two scales, that is one Celsius scale and Fahrenheit scale. Also we have learned the fixed points, upper fixed point, lower fixed point. Again we have learned conversion from one scale to another. Now I just show one graphical representation for these two scales. Conversion of this one scale to this, we have shown this formula. Let me tell you how you get this formula on the graph. How you observe this on the graph. I will just show this graph with graphical representation. That is nothing but we can plot the graph, plotting the graph. So plotting the graph. Plotting the graph, where you are plotting the graph Fahrenheit scale versus Celsius scale. So how to plot this graph and how I'll explain this graph. On this graph I'll show you how it is. So please observe here Fahrenheit scale versus Celsius scale. So let us plot x-axis or the y-axis, the one Fahrenheit scale. On x-axis there is Celsius scale because it is Fahrenheit scale versus Celsius scale. So let me show you. This is y-axis, right? This is x-axis. Where in this, let me say this is the origin. This is nothing but origin here at this position. This is degree Fahrenheit scale. Degree Fahrenheit on this side. This is degree centigrade. And this is nothing but Celsius scale. This is Celsius scale. This is Fahrenheit scale. Alright. Now I have shown the one x-axis versus y-axis. Now you are observing here, when you are taking the liquid in the container, when you heat it, naturally temperature rises. So as you rise the temperature, you can observe the one lower fixed point and upper fixed point you know already from the Celsius scale. Let me say this is the one 100 degrees centigrade here. This is the position of 100 degrees centigrade. And here, this is the lower fixed point is 32 degree Fahrenheit. And here this is 212 degree Fahrenheit. So if I just draw the graph, we get the graph which is a straight line like this. And this is the one you can observe. This is 180 equal parts we have here. This is 32 degree Fahrenheit, and here remember this is 32 degree Fahrenheit. This is 212 degree Fahrenheit. You can observe here. This is the one 212 degree Fahrenheit. Right? And now you are observing the scale. And here remember, this from this, what do you observe here? Let me show you the formula. TF is equal to 9 by 5 TC plus 38. So what else the formula explains? Remember, this formula is similar to an equation like y is equal to mx plus c. What is it explains? This explains a straight line graph. Straight line graph. So y is equal to mxc plus explains a straight line graph. We have got the straight line here, and y-intercept is nothing but called as the temperature on Fahrenheit scale, and this is x-axis means temperature on the x-axis, nothing but it is Celsius scale. And here you can observe this 9 by 5 is nothing but called the slope, where m is equal to 9 by 5, where you get the slope by just drawing this one. This is 9 by 5 slope you can calculate here. And this 32, what is this 32? This 32 is called as the 1c, that is equal to 32, where it is an intercept, where you can observe this is the one called as intercept, or this is scale. This is scale, where you can say it starts from 32 degree Fahrenheit. So this is how the scale you can observe, where you are plotting the graph Fahrenheit scale versus Celsius scale. So we have learned the graph by using this graph only, or also learned the formula how you are comparing to a straight line graph, and all these things today we have learned. So today we have learned a very important concept, temperature. In that temperature we have learned what is temperature, what is the how to measure the temperature. Along with that we have learned the one part as the scales, the two thermometric scales, one Celsius scale and Fahrenheit scales. And along with that we have learned the one fixed points, two fixed points, how to select the fixed points. Using that we have learned two formulas. by using conversion from one scale to another scale. These two formulas we have learnt. With the help of this formula, we have also learned today one graphical representation of Fahrenheit scale versus Celsius scale. So this completes the concept of temperature using two scales. One more scale is there. After explaining absolute scale, I will explain the one Kelvin scale. So hope you understood what I have explained today. And just remember, based on this, you will expect one problems. Maybe for the one, maybe Karnataka CET, maybe anywhere you will expect, you will get one problem. In theory also, for 1 mark questions, you will expect one problem based on these any two formulas.